Ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on my channel I talk about leveling up, femininity, hypergamy, and attracting the right masculine provider for you. So if any of that sounds interesting, then please check out the rest of the videos on my channel and leave a like below to help spread this message with more like-minded ladies. Now, today's video is all about protecting your energy as we're heading into 2023. Not having any more negativity, not having any more bad vibes, no more bad energy. Now, this is something that I've seen on a lot of people's resolutions, and New Year's resolutions coming into the year. And I just wanted to make a video to give you some, helpful tips, helpful, actionable tidbits that you can implement to help make this more of a reality for you so that this starts to really materialize in your year going forward. So if that sounds interesting for you, then stick with me here, and we're going to get right into it. Now, the first thing you want to pay attention to is standing guard at the door to your mind. So this involves paying attention to all of the stuff that you are consuming, all of the people who have access to essentially messaging you and putting messages in your brain, right? Who is programming your belief systems? Who is feeding you information, right? Making sure that those sources are positive as much as possible. And this not only extends to the typical stuff when you're talking to people that you may know, you want to make sure that they're positive, of course, but you also want to start to think about all of the content that you're taking in throughout the day, especially through your cell phone. Now, when you wake up first thing in the morning and when you go to sleep last thing in the evening, this is a time when your brain literally switches states. Your brain enters something called theta brainwaves start to be produced inside your mind, and it makes you very suggestible, right? So when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is that you start scrolling on social media maybe, or you start watching the news, or you start to watch news that has a lot of negativity on it, that's when it really starts to seep into you. You're very suggestible. You're kind of in this twilight foggy stage where you haven't fully woken up, or you haven't fully fallen asleep yet, and that's when you're very, very suggestible. So you want to make sure that any content that's coming into your mind, especially at that point, is positive, that it's nourishing you, that it is uplifting, not negativity. So if you are somebody, let's say that you are maybe a content creator on Instagram or something, or if you are somebody who has maybe just a bit of a larger social media following where people have random people can come and comment on things, you don't want to check that first thing in the morning. You don't want to check that last thing in the evening. You want to just schedule a time in the day where you can take on whatever is going on in that area, because you don't want people to be able to just put their energy on you. If you're working corporate and you receive a lot of emails, you want to make sure that you're not opening up your laptop or picking up your phone and checking your email first thing in the morning, because that person's energy is going to just completely come into you first thing first, right in the morning, and it's going to set the tone for the rest of your day, whether that's conscious or unconscious, right? So you want to make sure that all of that sort of taking in other people's energy, that does not happen in the mornings or in the evenings when you're about to go to sleep. And you also want to make sure that anything that you are taking in is something that's going to nourish you, that it's going to make you feel uplifted, whether that is listening to Tabitha Brown on the Calm app or whatever sort of practice that is. Just make sure that it's something that you feel is feeding you and lifting you up instead of bringing you down. Now, ladies, the next thing that I want to suggest that you think about is to ask yourself, before the next time you accept a social invitation, ask yourself, when is the last time you smiled in the presence of this person, right? When is the last time that this person made you smile? Now, as we are coming out of winter and heading into spring, you might find yourself, starting to go out a little bit more. It's a very natural progression of the seasons and the energies associated with them. So as you start to, sort of like emerge from like your cocoon, maybe you have been, coupled up, or maybe you're already married or something of that nature. Maybe you've just been indoors a lot this season and you are starting to go out more and socialize more as things warm up. You want to start to think about, okay, before you accept the social invitation, how do you feel in the presence of this person? How have you felt in the past being in their presence? Do they say things that make you feel good about yourself? Do they say things that make you feel good about them, about who they are as people, right? How is it being in this person's presence? What kind of vibe are they giving? How do they make you feel when you're around them? And how do you think that they feel about you, especially when you're not around them? What do you think they're saying about you? Is that something kind, or is it something nasty and negative? Right? And as you start to look a lot more at this kind of thing, I think that a lot of the answers will present themselves very naturally, because many women are naturally intuitive. We already know a lot of things and we're just not necessarily ready to confront it at any given time. But I just want to encourage you that before you go out, before you commit yourself to a social activity, especially if you've just taken that sort of natural pause on things and people may not have seen you for a couple of months, at least in person, before you go back and you resume exchanging energies with that person, to just stop, take a pause, and think about how that person has made you feel in the past, and whether or not, based on that, you want to go forward in the future continuing to exchange energies with this person. Because it may just be, before you get into, the same old habit from before, that you just have to take a step back and realize, okay, no, I need to break this habit. I need to break this connection, put a pause on this relationship, and maybe invest more in these relationships over here, where I'm feeling a bit more positivity. This is just something, food for thought. So I would definitely encourage you to just think about it and see where your intuition naturally leads you on this issue. Now, the next thing you should do here, in my opinion, is invest in your self-care routine. Now, I might have, said this many times before, but it's worth saying again. Your self-care is everything. How you care for you is really the biggest determinant in your quality of life, because at the end of the day, in this life, all you have is you. You are a singular being, and how you treat yourself, that is the most important relationship that you're going to have in this lifetime, because you're always going to be with yourself. So really investing in that, making sure that the way that you're treating yourself is very positive, it's very good, that's going to set the tone for how it is that you not only, go on to view yourself in the future, but how you see other people, right? We've all had that experience before where somebody is just completely misplacing their emotional response onto us. Maybe we're at work and we get, a very nasty email from somebody, or maybe you've worked in the service industry and you've had somebody just explode at you out of nowhere over a minor inconvenience, right? It's always the case every single time that those people, some people are just nasty people, but those people, they are never meaner to you than they are to themselves. So you just have to think, if somebody is willing to speak to you that way, how are they really speaking to themselves? How are they treating themselves at the end of the day? If you don't respect yourself, it's very hard to respect other people. So putting yourself first and investing in yourself is so important, and you can do that in many, many ways, regardless of what your budget is to start off. If you are somebody who you don't have a lot to spend right now, you can't just go to a spa and book a massage and all these facial treatments, okay, but maybe you can start by ordering yourself a set of nice wine glasses and starting to look through your local area to see what the best wines are that are available in your price point, right? Just to see that quality is not always connected to price. There's plenty of amazing wines that are $9 or $10 a bottle. It's all about, your knowledge at the end of the day, understanding what's good, doing that research, putting in that legwork to find if they have that in your community, right? So that's one thing that you can do for yourself if you're somebody who likes to drink wine. Maybe you're somebody who you like skincare, investing in a skincare practice, a skincare routine that you can do slowly, maybe putting on music while you do it. Maybe you're somebody who you really like to cook, and your idea of self-care is preparing a really nice, healthy, nutritious meal for yourself and maybe your loved ones as well. Right, so making that activity more pleasant, maybe lighting some candles, using, nice tableware, making sure that you maybe upgrade the pots and pans that you're using so that it's a more pleasant experience for you, or getting an apron in a color that you like might also be a possibility. And lastly, anytime that you are, doing something and you feel the need to maybe add some extra spice to it, jazz it up, whether that is a journaling practice or a meditation practice, consider adding a candle, especially candles made with natural waxes, because if you are more of a spiritual person, you're adding in multiple elements when you light a candle in your presence. You're adding, those elements of earth with the raw material of the wax that's in the candle. You're adding in that element of air, and you're adding in that element of fire. So that's all really good to get that energy flowing throughout your space, while also giving you a really pleasant smell to enjoy as well. So I definitely recommend just adding a candle into your self-care practice if that's something that you would like to do, and just experimenting with scents so that you find something that is more upscale, more sophisticated, that you might enjoy. I would definitely say that that's a great way to invest in your self-care. Lastly, do small acts of kindness for others. Now, this last one I'm going to keep super quick, but when you do little random acts of kindness for other people, it's definitely something that is going to make your life better, out of proportion from the thing that you do. Even if it's something as simple as you see somebody walking down the street and you pay them a genuine compliment, or you just say hello to somebody that you have, maybe not spoken to, but you've seen them around in your community, acknowledging their presence, asking them how they are. If you're dealing with somebody who is a service worker, say hi, hello, please, and thank you as you're receiving your service. And if it's socially appropriate to do so, consider tipping them generously. Just having that energy of open hands, right? As you are practicing gratitude and generosity and positivity, right, through these acts of kindness, you're going to receive so much of that energy back to you. You're going to receive it back 3 times. Right, so that's definitely something that I would say is a surefire way to make sure that you are feeling positive. Being somebody who does kind things for other people is going to elevate you. It's going to elevate your emotional status, your emotional state, in a way that really I just can't explain with words. It's just something that you have to try for yourself, and I highly recommend it. Now, ladies, that's going to be it for me today. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a like below, and if you're interested in more similar content like this, then please check out the rest of the videos on my channel. Again, my name is Azalea Dawn, and I talk about leveling up, femininity, elegance, hypergamy, and getting yourself in the right relationship with a masculine provider for you. If any of that sounds interesting, then please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.